one and all you, the Who Dat Nation, and it's the one and only Who Dat Davis here for you. And if you don't know, you will know that over here we bleed black and gold until we are dead and cold. And as I'm waking up this morning, I'm looking at potential prospects for the Saints to draft in the 2021 draft in the first round. Yes, I know I've done a video on this already, but there is one guy that has stood out to me the most out of all potential prospects on offense and on defense and even on special teams. I will get into that specific guy in a second, but before we do, I want to give a special shout out to everybody once again who makes this channel what it is today. You guys check in, tune into my videos, comment, leave your support. You guys donate when you can. And as always, I'm forever grateful to you guys. Jerry Poor, Ghostface, Tara. You got some new guys coming in. Big shout out to CB, Carly, Uptown, and the Who Dat Chatline podcast. You got TJ Jones over there in the State of the Saints podcast. You got Big Country over there who does this thing for the Atlanta Falcons. All these guys coming in is an absolute blessing, man. I appreciate all y'all. Now, before we get into that again, I have to talk about just a little bit about what's going on with this Russell Wilson, hype that's going on social media. Russell Wilson is not happy with the Seattle Seahawks right now, even though he has stated that he wants to play for Seattle. He has put out his list for, potential trade spots, one of them being New Orleans Saints. Now, to go through this entire list, we've got the Saints, the Cowboys, the Raiders, and the Bears. Those are his top trade destinations if, they entertain that going forward. Now, like I said, he has openly stated that he wants to play for Seattle, but he has talked to Pete Carroll and Seattle front office about how they're going to address the Seattle offensive line. They haven't given him any kind of answer, and as always, when you don't give your guy that's your franchise quarterback an answer, they're not going to be too happy. See Deshaun Watson and his adamancy on wanting to be traded, and apparently Carolina Panthers are making a push for Watson, but it is what it is. Now, I don't believe Russell Wilson's coming to the Saints. I don't. I really do believe Sean Payton is a man of his word, that Jameis Winston is going to be the Saints starting quarterback, the next franchise quarterback going forward. He is only 27 years old. He's been in the Saints system officially for a year now. He knows the in and outs of all the guys, and the locker room just takes to Jameis Winston rather instantly. So I don't think they're going to make a push for Russell Wilson, even though a lot of Saints fans on Saints Twitter want to see it happen. I don't think it's going to happen. I think you already got your guy in the door. You don't want to break bank. You don't want to break up, your weapons on offense or give up any significant draft picks to fill in guys who are going to be leaving to cut to be under the salary cap for this season. Now, let's get into what I'm going to get into with this, who I believe the Saints should draft in the first round, and that is linebacker Nick Bolton. We've always talked about how the Saints have not been the one to draft a linebacker in the first round, and they haven't really hit on any stud linebackers whenever they draft them. See Zach Bond, who had a bit of a struggle trying to gain his footing on the defense. He's played base 4-3, mainly a special teams guy. Now, that's not saying Zach Bond is a bad linebacker. No. This is more like Zach Bond and his skill set for defense is not something the Saints normally run. He's normally a 3-4 guy or 4-3 guy that plays outside. He's more of an edge rusher. The Saints don't really use linebackers for edge rushers since Alex Okafor. So basically, they can get over that hump. They can finally break that linebacker draft curse by drafting, Nick Bolton to go alongside Demario Davis. That way, they don't have to really restructure Quan Alexander's contract, even though he has stated that he wants to ride with the Saints this season. I just don't think that's going to happen. I don't think Quan Alexander is going to want to restructure that contract. And even if he does, he's going to have to take a big pay cut because the big issue is he can't stay healthy. I love Quan Alexander. With him and Demario Davis, I do believe they're one of the best linebacker duos in the NFC. But he can't stay healthy. As evident, he torn his Achilles on a non-contact injury. I forgot the game he got injured in. I believe it was against the Minnesota Vikings. during the Christmas game. But yeah, you need a guy who's sturdy. You need a guy who can also get sideline to sideline and north and south really quickly. And linebacker Nick Bolton is that guy. Let's go ahead and talk about some of Nick Bolton's stats from 2018 all the way up to this past 2020 season. And it is a big jump. Okay, let's talk 2018. Nick Bolton in 2018 had 12 solo tackles. He had 10 assisted and 1 tackle for loss and amassed a total of 22 tackles. That was it. That was it for 2018. Now, here's where it gets really interesting for the 2019. Okay, it's a really big jump. Let's look into it right here. In 2019, Nick Bolton has 74 solo tackles. He has 29 assisted tackles. He had 8.5 tackles for loss. That is a total of 103 tackles. A total of 103 tackles. And he had 2 INTs. One of them was a pick 6. And he had 7 passes defended. Let's read that again. 74 solo tackles. 29 assisted tackles. 8 tackles for loss. 2 INTs. 1 INT was a pick 6. That is a monster jump from 2018 to 2019. Not only has he shown that he could be a great run stuffer, he can be a great will linebacker that can cover tight ends, running backs, and he's a great in pass coverage. That is exactly what you have used Quan Alexander for, but with a lot more upside in terms of health and longevity right there on a rookie contract. Now, people are going to probably ask me, hey, what about 2020? Okay, let's look at 2020 right here. In 2020, note that this was a short season, a short 2020 season because of COVID. Short. Let's look into it. 2020, Nick Bolton, 53 solo tackles, 42 assisted tackles, 8 tackles for loss, 95 total tackles in the 2020 season, 5 passes defended, and 1 fumble recovery. Let's read that again. 2020 season, a season that was shortened because of COVID-19. 53 solo tackles, 42 assisted tackles, 8 tackles for loss, 95 total tackles, 5 passes defended, and 1 fumble recovery. So in the season where there was less games, his production didn't fall off. If anything, he was on pace to break his total 2019 season. Overall, he was better in his 2020 season than he was in his 2019 season. He has gotten better as the years went on. That is a diamond. That is a stud right there. You need a stud to go alongside Mario Davis. You need a stud to take off that pressure who can maintain his health. And he is built like a truck. 232 pounds of pure muscle. 232 pounds of pure muscle. And his 3 years, his entire career, a grand total overall, 139 solo tackles, 81 assisted tackles, 220 total tackles, 17.5 tackles for loss, 12 passes defended. That is absolutely insane for a linebacker who had a big jump from 2018 to 2019 in only just 3 years. The Saints cannot, under any circumstance, let Nick Bolton slip through their fingers. They let Patrick Quinn go, and you've seen what he's done over there in Baltimore. They let Devin White slip through their fingers, and you see what he's doing over there in Baltimore in just his second year. He is already a Super Bowl winning linebacker. He's already got his ring. Mario Davis doesn't have his ring yet. Quan Alexander doesn't have a ring yet. Nick Bolton can shore up your front 7. He can shore up pass coverage against tight ends, against running backs. He is north and south, really quick, and he can get sideline to sideline just like Devin White. Okay, the Saints need to draft Nick Bolton. It is undisputed. Nick Bolton is your number 1 guy. And if the Saints do not draft Nick Bolton, I promise you, you're going to hear from me again as the season progresses. The Saints are going to have a big mistake if they let him fall down to Tampa Bay. Because they're going to be possibly without Shaq Barrett. They're probably going to extend Levante David. But probably going to let Shaq Barrett go. And if they let Shaq Barrett go, I promise you they're going to get Nick Bolton. They're going to get Nick Bolton, and the Saints are going to be in bigger trouble than they already are. Draft Nick Bolton. Draft Nick Bolton. You've already let Joe S.O.B.G go. Joe S.O.B.G was a stud linebacker from Michigan State. They let him go. You can't let this one go. Please, Saints, do the right thing. Draft Nick Bolton, assure up your defense, and let's go get this ring. I will go live once again. Well, not live. I'll post another video later on this week or sometime next week about who the Saints should draft in the second round. Who should they draft? I won't say. But I will say that they need to draft Nick Bolton in the first round. We have a guy who does all of this in just 3 short years. A monster jump from 2018 to 2019. Oh no, you got to draft him. His 2020 was better than 2019. He was on pace to shatter his 2019 overall stat season. 2020 was better than 2019. Come on now. It's undisputed. Nick Bolton is your guy. But I'd love to hear your thoughts. Who do you think the Saints should draft in the first round? Do you also believe it should be Nick Bolton, or do you believe someone else should take that spot? The NFL has the Saints drafting quarterback Mac Jones. Now, I don't think that's a bad one, but like I said, I believe they already have their quarterback for the future and Jameis Winston. I believe they're going to do everything they can to get Jameis Winston back into that Saints building, because Sean Payton has said he really loves Jameis Winston, so they're not going to waste it on another quarterback. They're probably going to get a quarterback in free agency, but I don't think they're going to draft one. I think Mac Jones is going to go somewhere in the AFC, probably, the Raiders, because I don't think they're going to be anything good with Derek Carr, or even the Patriots. I think the Patriots may make a run at Mac Jones. He fits what they're looking for. But that's it. That's all. I really hope the Saints draft Nick Bolton. I've never been so adamant on the Saints drafting a linebacker in the first round than I am this year, because this guy is a rarity. This guy is a serious rarity. And you need somebody who can play hard, play fast, and play consistent. Especially consistent. Shouts out to Quan Alexander for stepping in and getting that, that spark that the Saints needed on defense. But the best ability is availability. And I don't think Quan Alexander has shown that he can be that guy that can be available when you need him. Nick Bolton can. That's it. That's all. As always, we bleed black and gold until we are dead and cold. I'll be looking forward to your comment section. And as always, if you guys want to donate, you can donate at paypal.me/aDavis656. Or you can always follow me on Facebook at facebook.com/stateofblackandgold. Or you can go ahead and recommend this here YouTube channel to your friends, to your fellow football nerds. Let's go ahead and talk some more football. I'll holler at y'all later.